Yeah, the head-to-heads here. Djokovic leads 9-0 the last meeting. Cincinnati, very hot in Cincinnati too. In the second round, and 7-6, 6-2 to Djokovic. So a very tight first set. We might be able to expect that here. Djokovic beat Seppi at the French last year after being down 2 sets to love. He came back and won in 5. Djokovic to serve.
15.
Not much can go wrong with that serve. He did try to change it, as we've talked about, but to no avail. It went back to the old swing, and beautiful timing now, and it's a pretty simple motion. And not many things can go wrong with it. The underestimated part of his game, in my mind. Seppi, right from the get-go, trying to be aggressive inside the baseline on the second serve. He's got to be a little bit nervous. It's his first time out here in Australia at the Hopman Cup. Seppi is the #1 Italian. On his second and third career title, Seppi at Belgrade and Moscow.
Game Serbia.
And the first game goes to Novak Djokovic from Serbia, the #1 player in the world. He leads 1-love. I'm now joined by the Dean of Coaches and past Australian Davis Cup stalwart, Darren Cahill. And Darren, I know you've been busy this morning with this. Is quite an incredible start for Djokovic to be here and ready to go.
Yeah, it's really good, Fred. It's amazing when you think about 11 months ago, played a 6-hour final against Rafael Nadal, winner of the Australian Open. He jumps on a plane the very next day and gets out of Australia and back in Australia for the last 12 hours.
Well, he talked about what's been going on with his preparation. He was in Abu Dhabi, and the top 6 players in the world over there, or top 6 out of the top 10 there for that, and he's come through, won that, and jumped down here for the Hopman Cup. 3 tough matches, not a bad preparation going into the Open.
Sure is.
And Mark Howard, as usual, has joined in to come here to join us for this particular match. And he's been checking these fellows out. What are your thoughts, Howie?
My first thought is, in your arena, this would be pretty close to a record crowd for the Hopman Cup in history of the event. I would have thought it's certainly the biggest crowd we've had this week, and it's a lot larger arena than the old Burswood. So it's great to see so many people turn out to watch the world #1 in action. Fred, we had the chance to catch up with Anna Ivanovic after her win, and she said she hadn't even seen Novak before she stepped on court. So they had a little catch up out the back, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And now the #1 seeds are well and truly ready to go.
Yes, we had that. It was very nice to see, you know, that's team camaraderie. I guess they've known one another for many years, hadn't seen one another, and he was in the middle of doing some stretching and saw her, and they had a big hug and talked to the respective coaches and trainers. Finished his practice, went back, and we're out here entertaining. Well, we had a this is what happened there. And seen one another and a nice hug there. And then Anna went over and spoke to the trainers and coaches. Brought the Italians to their feet.
You can tell also, Fred, that Howie here's got a little spring in his step as well, because he got one of those hugs as he interviewed Anna straight after her match.
Oh, no wonder he's all excited. He's got his hair standing up and yeah.
Darren was in the chair, and never has a man been kicked out of a chair so quickly as Darren when Anna arrived.
Tore a hamstring getting out of the chair.
She did tell us that she'd grown up with Novak and remembers him as a 4-year-old playing in the sandpit, Fred, and they'd had a few tussles on the court, but she said he was a pretty wild young man.
Well, they've grown up together and it shows their friendship. I think they're going to see some pretty good mixed doubles, as we did last time they were here, and they're going to be heavy favourites to take out the Hopman Cup this year, but it's not going to be easy. This match is not going to be easy for Serbia, but he started off as he left off in Abu Dhabi. 2 games to love, break serve early.
Speaking about the players' preparation going into a slam, the Australian Open's a little bit different because the other 3 slams, all the players have played a lot of matches. So you're not cramming in matches trying to get ready for a slam, but the Aussie Open is a bit different. And that's why Novak's decided to play in Abu Dhabi and then get the guaranteed at least 3 matches here in Perth.
And as a result of that, Darren, you often come semi and final time the Australian Open, it throws up some players that you don't expect to be there.
Yeah, but more importantly also, it gives him a week off going into the Australian Open. So he can practice at his leisure. He's not trying to cram in late matches. And you're right, occasionally you do see those smokies come through the event.
Well,
it's been for a while, though.
Richard and I were talking about that. He's had intense preparation the last 2 weeks, and he will tone it down a little bit, you would think, after the Hopman Cup the week before. And as you mentioned, Darren play at his leisure and get the practice that he wants because he knows he's fit. He knows he can play the best of 5 sets. And the Hopman Cup's been very good to this man. He's every time he's left here, he's gone on to win the Australian Open. Andy Murray, the year Andy Murray played here, he went on and got to the final of the Open. We talked about that, how he's unbelievable as far as his defensive skills are concerned and how he can get there outstretched wide, keep the head still and still come up with shots.
Got such incredible court coverage. He's a big man too, Fred. He's bigger than you think in person, 6'2", 80 kilos, but he moves like a much smaller man.
Juice.
Unusual game, Andrea Seppi. Play like your normal heavy topspin player of today and hits the ball quite flat off both wings, but he has great disguise. Well, you don't really know because of his shoulder turn whether he's taking that forehand down the line or going cross court. He can really catch his opponent flat-footed at times.
How about the serve, though? Darren, I think it's very much underestimated. I'm talking about the Djokovic serve,
Okay.
that one there, that one right down the tee. It's sneaky quick. There's not many things can go wrong with it.
Beautiful. Little head fake there from Andreas. He's had Novak going the wrong way. I completely agree, Fred. Remember a couple of years ago, that was really his Achilles heel. He trying to look for a few more kilometres per hour on that serve, and he changed his action and became a straight arm server. It was like a sky hook on his serve and really lost the margin on the second serve. Was serving a ton of double faults. 2010, he actually averaged more double faults than aces in every single match he played.
Yeah, that motion, that stiff arm got to be a little bit like Stefan Edberg.
Exactly.
So,
He's actually gone back now to his old motion, getting that bend in the elbow on top of the shoulder, and he's got that power back and consistency back in the serve.
Advantage Serbia.
That's a real talent, Darren, to be able to swap and change. The amount of work that must go into changing your own biomechanics is incredible.
Game Serbia.
Well, Serbia, by way of Novak Djokovic, the #1 player in the world, now leads 3 games to love opening